Ragtag Radio. Ragtag Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, baby, for another episode of Frag Tag Radio. And here with you today are your boys, Radius.
Matter of fact.
And your boy, Death from Above.
Alright, so, of course, first we gotta get those plugs out there. You got the big one, Appy Gamer, baby. On Android, iOS, Windows 8, Appy Gamers everywhere. World of Video Game News and Game RSS on Android. And then you got Game On, which is on iOS and Windows phones. And then Xbox One News and Xbox Game News on Android. All super great, awesome apps. Enjoy them, collect them all. They're like Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all, baby. We are also on Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, Twitch, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, and of course, when you want to catch that episode 15 seconds before it goes up everywhere else, get that 15-second exclusive. It's at fragtagradio.com, baby. And of course, we also got the articles up there, the reviews, tons of awesome stuff on the site, so definitely check us out at fragtagradio.com. You can comment on there, or if you just want to holler at us, you can hit us up on Twitter at fragtagradio. And so with that, this is a special episode because we have reached over 20,000 followers on Twitter and 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I just wanted to take a quick second and say thank you.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
To all of our listeners, readers, followers, fans, subscribers, we appreciate it. And with that, I want to make a quick note that the Xbox Live Games with Gold for the month on 360 are currently, right now, you can get Dust and Elysian Tale from now until the 15th, and then starting on the 16th until the end of the month, Saints Row 3. And if you ask me, the Games with Gold program has been steadily getting better.
A lot better.
You know?
Yeah.
Because, when it first started up, Fable 3 was a good beginning, but then it just seemed like they were,
There's titles you didn't really care about.
Yeah.
Or they were already like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And it was like you already had it or played it, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, and so now we're getting to the point where, the games are still like 2 years old, but they're good games.
They're like little diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about this Elysian's Tale. I never got to play it. So, like, right before the show, I downloaded it. So, I'm ready to jump into that.
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, Dust is awesome.
Yeah.
Love that game. And with that, we got a couple games to review this past month from Ubisoft. Trials Fusion and Child of Light. So, first Trials Fusion. Really awesome game. If you played the other Trials, you pretty much know what you're getting into. It's got the same awesome multiplayer from the previous Trials. Currently, it's only got the local multiplayer, though. They're going to be adding the online and an update coming soon. I got to say, the difference in this one, you can customize your bike rider, and you can get different kits for the bikes, which is really cool. The tracks are just a lot more creative this time. They had the track creator in the last one, which, there was tons of creative tracks there. But the ones from Red Lynx themselves in the main campaign, don't get me wrong, they were good. It's just that the Fusion tracks are just so creative. And I think it partly has to do with the whole futuristic theme.
Yeah,
of
you see a
Trials
lot of
Fusion.
that in there. Even if it's a natural environment, they still manage to put silver paneling with blue lights into, to give it that kind of futuristic feel.
Yeah, and you're like going across futuristic city landscapes and rooftops, skyscrapers, and even places like the jungle. It's like it was almost felt kind of like a Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
type.
prehistoric. Yeah,
really cool with the sort of electric fences and gadgets around that you would expect to see like in Jurassic Park. Just really, really good. Like I said, if you want to get the full review, you can catch it on fragtagradio.com. I would say that's 4.5 frags all day. The only thing really holding it back from 5 is the fact that the online multiplayer wasn't there at launch. And, That's pretty much about it. The level creator, they did a really good job of actually making it much more streamlined, but actually adding more options and making it deeper at the same time. I've always considered the last Trials evolution. I thought they had really perfected the Trials formula. So when I heard about Fusion, I was wondering, where could they possibly take it? What could they possibly do to make it better when they had already kind of perfected it with the last one? And, to their credit, they did a really good job of surpassing Evolution, which I was really surprised. It's just a really, really good game. As we were talking about before the show, a lot of people are traditionally not fans of dirt bike games.
Yeah.
But, even if you're not a fan of dirt bike games, I would still say definitely check out Trials Evolution.
Yeah, it's not even really that, like, dirt bike heavy. I mean, yeah, you ride a dirt bike, but it's not like you're racing other competitors or...
Right. I mean, if you have friends who have played it, you can, try and beat your friends' times you're racing against their ghosts,
Okay.
or whatever. But you don't feel pressured by that. And on top of that, it's just as much about the platforming, as it is the timing.
Yeah, because there was one part where I was hitting a ramp and I went straight up a log.
Yeah.
And when you went straight up the log fell. But when you did that, you had to pull back, so you did a backflip, land on the platform behind you, and then use the log that you just knocked over to keep going.
Right.
It took me 2 tries, but I finally got it, and I was like, oh, it's a fun game.
Yeah. Trials Fusion, baby. And the last thing I wanted to mention about it is that they added the ability to do tricks.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you hit a nice big jump, get a lot of air, you can, totally do the Superman and, also all those, normal tricks that you're used to seeing in other dirt bike and skateboard games. Yeah. And I just thought that was a really cool addition, and they're really easy to do. You do all your tricks with the right thumbstick.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do a combination of a bunch of different buttons to pull off a trick.
Right trigger, yeah.
You just it's all in the way that your bike is currently positioned in the air and where you point the thumbstick in which direction you point it, which trick your character will do. And it's easy to do, difficult to master.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you can instantly start pulling off tricks, but when you first start, whenever you do it, you'll be pulling off a trick, but you never know which one you're going to do.
Yeah.
But as you experiment with it and get better with it, you'll actually know exactly which way to tilt your bike and which way to turn the right thumbstick to make your character do that exact trick you're looking for.
And then line yourself up for coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, really nice feature. It's really good. Like I said, so the game hasn't been out very long yet, so there's some cool user created tracks up there already, which is pretty surprising.
That's cool.
But there's not a ton of them. But expect as this game gets older, matures, you're going to see a ton of awesome user created tracks up there, which is. One last thing that I wanted to say about Trials Fusion is that even after you beat the campaign, Trials has an infinite amount of replayability because you don't have to wait for DLC. There's new tracks coming on there every day.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Coming from other users who are making tracks, posting up on there, and and it's not just a bunch of random tracks. You have to try them and see if you like. There's a whole rating system, and you can actually see a description of the track and a 1 to 5 star rating based on other people who have played it. So you automatically know, based on other people's ratings, if the track is going to be worth checking out. But so 4.5 for X, Trials Fusion, and then on to Child of Light, which is a traditional old school RPG, and I think it's it was kind of a breath of fresh air for me. A lot of RPG games these days are kind of going the action route.
Yeah,
Right.
They are.
Matter of fact, the new Final Fantasy 15, is being described as an action game. We're actually going to talk about that later in the episode. But it's just kind of disheartening to an old school RPG fan like me to see that happening.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the turn-based old school RPGs. This last generation, we had Lost Odyssey, classic, probably my favorite RPG from this past generation on 360, on any console this past generation. And this is only a $15 game, but you're going to get that 20-hour experience. And even more if you want to collect all the items and do all the side quests. So it's just really well done. Got a really charming art style.
Yeah, that's one thing that stands out about the game. That and the music.
Also, it's got pianos, violins.
It's orchestra.
Really,
orchestra. Yeah,
really well done music, and the combat system, while being turn based, they give it kind of like a little fresh take. with the whole active time battle thing.
All
And all that stuff. And the way the game is written, it's just so well written.
Oh yeah, it's all in a poem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you start because you didn't tell me that, and I started reading what they were saying. I was like, this is rhyming.
Yeah.
And then you told me that, and I started getting even more into it to just say it in my head like syllable wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But yeah, so it's just really well done. You play as this little girl named Aurora, who you've come down with a sickness, and you go to sleep one night. And you wake up in Lemuria, which is this magical world which used to be full of light but has now been taken over by the Black Queen. She has stolen the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the whole world is now cursed with darkness. And initially, you just want to get back home to your father, just trying to find a way out of this world to get back to the real world, to your father. But as the game goes on, you realize that, you kind of need to defeat the Black Queen and return the light to Lemuria, and you learn more about your past and your family's past, and everything just kind of comes full circle, without really giving anything away. Everything comes full circle, and it's just a really, really good story. Like I said, the combat is good. There's treasure chests everywhere, tons of secret areas. Yeah. It's just tons of things to collect. All the characters are just really cool. Even like the side quest characters, they're just funny to talk to. They've all got some pretty neat quests, and while it's pretty obvious what you need to be doing, it's never exactly obvious where you need to go or exactly what you need to do. Yeah. Like I was talking to this old man in a town, and he was talking about how he was really hungry and that he would do anything for an apple. And then like 5 hours later in the story, maybe even more than that, I'm in a whole separate town of this rat race of mice, and they're like traveling salesman type of race. Yeah. And this one guy is trying to tell my little princess girl that humans aren't good traders or whatever, and then she's like, I'm just as good as a trader as you, pretty much. And then he's like, oh yeah, take this apple and turn it into gold. So I'm like, you know what? I bet you I got to take that back to the old man who wanted an apple.
That's right. Get your gold.
So you take it back to him, and he gives you a shovel. And then I remembered this other part in the game where this bird was by a trailer, and there was like this place on the ground next to him, and he was like, I don't know why anybody would bury something here in stone. And then I was like, I was like, I bet you I got to use the shovel to dig that up. Well. So I go over there, you dig it up, and I forget what you get from there, but you take it somewhere else that I remembered, and they end up giving you a lantern. And I remembered seeing a guy down in a cave somewhere trying to mine for stuff, but he didn't have a light source. And when I went down there, he saw my little firefly guy, and he was like, "Man, I'd do anything to have a light source like your little firefly." And then, like at the time, the girl Aurora, she's like, "Well, the firefly's not for sale." Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, all right, well, see you then." So you leave, and you don't think nothing about it. But then you get that lantern, and you're like, "Oh." So you bring that down to him, and he's actually mining golden nuggets down there. Oh, okay. He gives you the golden nuggets. You bring it back to the mouse who gave you the apple. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, wow, you really are a good barterer." And then so you complete the quest. It's just really crazy. You want to pay attention to everything everyone says, even if it doesn't seem, like it has anything to do with anything. It might later on in the story.
Right.
And with all that, I think Child Light is a 5-fragger. It's just a really good story. I gave a rave review on the site. You can also check out the written review for more in-depth detail on fragtagradio.com. So definitely check that out. Great review. All right, and so Call of Duty Advanced Warfare has been unveiled. Activision Sledgehammer lifted the veil off of it, showed us the first trailer. What are you guys' thoughts on it so far?
It looked pretty good, especially with the fact that Kevin Spacey was in it. That really, intrigued me to, really want to play it. And especially, he's going to be in the campaign. He probably does the voiceover in the multiplayer. So, I'm looking forward to it. Some of the things that they showed in there had me questioning, okay, are these concepts coming from other games other shooters that recently came out, like that exoskeleton? Where's that coming from? Is that because of Titanfall with the ability to jump higher and you're moving around as a pilot? Or is it coming from Halo with the spacey atmosphere where they're trying to get it more like.
Well, Jerry was
shooters.
kind of saying the same thing to me, and I would say, if anything, it might be a little bit of a draw from Halo. I would say it couldn't be from Titanfall because Sledgehammer's been working on this game for almost 3 years, and you know they had no way of knowing what Titanfall was 3 years ago. That's true. But of course, Halo was around, so there is a possibility that they drew.
Well, I think it's
some creative inspiration, and I think all games kind of draw creative inspiration from other places.
Of course,
but I think with Call of Duty, they've always been, at least in the earlier iterations of it, they always try to see what was new in the military world, what the newest advancements in guns, military machinery, stuff like that. So I think they took a little bit of what. Like that show Future Weapons. You watch some of that. They could have took something from that. Yeah. And then the other games that are out and just incorporate it, put it in a blender, and boom, there you go.
Yeah. Right. All right. So they also announced the release date, November 4th. No surprise there. Call of Duty's always usually come out in November. And what's interesting is Call of Duty Ghost, Infinity Ward developed the game simultaneously for all platforms: Xbox One, 360, PS3, PS4, PC. Well, with this one, they're taking a next-gen first approach, whereas Sledgehammer Games is developing the game specifically for Xbox One, PC, and PS4. It's still coming to the older consoles, but they're going to have another studio handle that port, sort of like how Respawn did with Titanfall, where they had Bluepoint Games handle the 360 port of the game. So, which is good news to me, because it's good that the old gen will still get the game. And it's good news for next gen owners that they'll actually be taking advantage of the next gen hardware this time. Whereas with Ghost, it was kind of they had to kind of make it for all the systems, so they couldn't really go all the way for the next gen consoles, or went around on the old ones, and they wanted to still at the same time make the old versions be as good as they could. So they don't have to they don't have to walk that fine line
between.
That they can just shoot for the stars with the new consoles, and then the other studio can do the downgrading as needed to make it work on the old consoles.
Right.
And big one for me. The main character in this game is being played by Kevin Spacey. He is the man. Yeah. We were talking about him right before the show. Seven, one of the best movies ever made. K-Pax.
Sosa.
Yeah, and then of course, more recently, House of Cards.
Yes.
Great show. The game takes place in 2025. Kevin Spacey will portray Jonathan Irons, the leader of the world's largest private military contractor, Atlas, who has turned against the U.S. government.
Yeah, that sounds interesting already.
Yeah, most Call of Duties have been pro-U.S. government.
That's true, yeah.
So this is, the first one to really kind of go against.
It's the government, yeah. Where you're almost like a bad guy.
Yeah, they're kind of taking the whole premise of Call of Duty and turning it on its ass.
Well, that's what made me so interested in the trailer and the game itself was... Well, the fact that it had Kevin Spacey, and that alone almost made it just seem like a movie preview. Yeah. And he wasn't even thinking about a game. I was like, oh, that looks really interesting. Like, what's going on? What's this? Yeah. What's that? And now that, they have a private military contractor that's mighty enough to turn against the U.S. government, I mean, he's got a lot of, assets to shape around and stuff.
Yeah, so all kinds of awesome tech shown off in the trailer. Yeah. So it's kind of wanting to go down and talk about some of the things we saw in the trailer that will be most likely making their way into the game. Not sure if they'll be, some of them might be single player only, but I imagine a lot of this will make its way to multiplayer too. First of all was the exoskeletons. These are, enhancing the soldiers' natural abilities, and you saw in the trailer guys running faster, jumping higher, and even like punching through brick walls. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
They're in development now.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, a lot of the guys were wearing these crazy high-tech helmets. Well, a lot of guns won't need scopes on them because the scope is built right into the eyes of your helmet now.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is, I thought...
Heads-up displays all right there now.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah. Also, the mechs or Juggernaut suits. A lot of people are speculating that these are like mini mechs, sort of like the Silverbacks from Gears of War.
Oh, yeah.
But then, a lot of people are saying that they could be more along the lines of like Juggernaut suits. They almost make the person look like a mech because they're so big.
Yeah.
But they're really just like a giant, futuristic version of the Juggernauts that we have now in current Call of Duties.
Yeah, and you imagine too, it's 2025, and the Juggernauts we're used to is just like Kevlar, just, now they might actually have like a metallic look to them.
Yeah.
Where it's actually like some type of alloy that they developed or something where it's lightweight and you can move around, and they did away with all that Teflon or whatever,
Yeah.
Right.
Who knows what kind of crazy stuff they might have.
Awesome.
Also cloaks, and shooters have had cloaks. Halo,
Ghost Recon.
Yep, in the past, but this is actually going to not just soldiers, but technologically advanced helicopters and other vehicles that will be able to cloak. So you'll actually be able to cloak, machines.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Drones, drones have been in shooters before. Matter of fact, Black Ops 2, I think, had drones. But in this one, you'll actually have drones that, like, you'll get one on the ground, and you can actually pick it up, turn it on, and use your shoulder to throw it out there, and
just
like
let it go do its thing.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. The mechanical tanks, these are like the new version of tanks where they don't need like treads to drive over the ground. They're almost like giant mechanical spiders.
They can actually articulate the legs, balance itself. Yeah,
pretty cool stuff. Also, the Spider-Man gloves. That's
gonna be cool.
That's what I call them. Anyways, the Spider-Man gloves. These futuristic gloves, you put them on, and all you have to do is touch a wall, and you stick to it. And so soldiers, and this is based on real technology too, being prototype. That soldiers will, you'll be able to actually just scale a wall just like Spider-Man.
No more grappling. And I imagine that'll be like a cinematic scene in the game when you're going up a wall or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you remember, that was used in the last Mission Impossible when he was climbing the building, side of the building.
Yep. Let's see. Also, the infrared grenades. You throw these grenades behind a wall, and it'll go off, like revealing the where everybody's at, all the enemies on the other side of the wall, stuff like that. Advanced silencers. There was this one gun the guy had in the trailer had a silencer on it, but the silencer was also like a flamethrower.
That's weird.
That's crazy.
So that was pretty insane. And then also the net of light. There was this part where like these soldiers were in the woods, and this net of light, which is the only way I can think to describe it, was on the ground. And speculation is that this will be like an anti-cloaking thing that you can deploy, and it'll like show things that are cloaked.
I imagine probably like overload it, because like cloaking technology now is to take light and reflect it and direct it somewhere else so you don't see what's there. So I imagine probably just overload the system with too much light and short it out, and you're like, oh, we're exposed.
And then also portable cover.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They straight up drop down.
Yeah, this is something you might just have on your back. You take it out, set it down, and it automatically expands outward and upward into a full-fledged piece of cover.
Yeah.
And if you get you and like 3 other teammates, and y'all could like set up 4 covers, y'all could make like a little mini fort.
It's like the new riot shield.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be pretty freaking awesome, crazy. And then lastly,
not as awesome as this.
Hover bikes.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, that's just cool. That's just awesome. Enough said. Hover bikes. OMG.
Hell yeah.
And of course, as usual, all DLC maps, expansions, and other content will be coming first to Xbox One and 360 in 1 month before you get it everywhere else. And that's pretty much all we know about the game right now. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more at E3.
Oh, yeah.
But, that's already a lot of information.
It is. I was about to say, that's quite a bit already. You got a lot just from watching that video.
Yeah. Yep. And Kevin Spacey was awesome. If you haven't seen that video yet, you need to do yourself a favor and check it out.
Yeah, make sure you pay close attention to his facial animations, his whole character. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. All right, and then a little bit about Halo 5. Well, first of all, Marty O'Donnell, the famous composer of all the Halos up until Halo 4, the first Halo that wasn't made by Bungie, he stayed with Bungie to go on and start working on Destiny. Bungie let him go, and he tweeted about it and said that it was without cause. So it was like made it sound like it was sort of a nasty split.
Yeah.
So best of luck to him. I hope that 343 picks him up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And gets him back to working on Halo again. Because, don't get me wrong, the composer guy for Halo 4 did a really good job. I thought Halo 4 had a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
But I just think, Marty O'Donnell could, get it right back to where it needed to be. Even if, the composer from Halo 4 and him work together, imagine what they could come up with.
Yeah, that's true.
Crazy, awesome orchestrated music for the game. All right, so Halo 5. The big question is it coming this year? Or is it going to be Halo 2 Anniversary and Halo 5 next year? Who knows? What we know so far is that a leaked story, synopsis, has said that the Chief will face a new battery of challenges and tests in a Herculean effort to stay alive in a galaxy where sentient life is mercilessly hunted. And of course, we know that the data chip Master Chief was holding during that Halo 5 trailer is obviously the Cortana chip that he would put in the back of his head. So that's Cortana right there. I mean, could he be trying to save or resurrect Cortana and bring her back? Could this whole game, be about his mission to get Cortana back? Or, would it be more about that giant Promethean thing that came up out of the sand? So we're obviously going to see more of the Prometheans. And, I think by that trailer we see that there's a lot of Promethean technology that we haven't seen yet. Also, go ahead.
I was going to say, speculating on it, if we remember, if for those who played Halo 4, spoiler alert, the scene when she downloads herself into multiple parts.
Oh, yeah.
And then, if you recall that, who's to say that one of her personalities didn't go into one of the Promethean, ships or infrastructures, and now, being that she went rampant, now she's the one who's actually trying to destroy all sentient beings because she's running rampant. There's a lot of things you could think about with her, with that whole
she's starting
downloading herself and running rampant.
And that's very possible too.
That'd be a crazy twist. Master Chief versus Cortana at the end.
Definitely interested to see where they take the whole story. Multiplayer is going to be a quote-unquote big focus for Halo 5, and 343 Industries wants to create all new multiplayer modes in addition to the stuff that we're already expecting.
That we all love.
The usuals. Halo already has some of the best multiplayer modes in the shooter genre. Griffball being one of our personal favorites around here. Also interesting, to see, where they could possibly take the multiplayer in Halo 5. And then at the very least, we can definitely expect our fan favorite modes to come back. There's a very strong possibility that Halo 5 multiplayer will have the return of Spartan Ops, which
I hope so.
Which is a pretty awesome mode that I really enjoyed playing. I hope they do more than one season of Spartan Ops this time.
Yeah, really. I was hoping they would have a second season.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The first season was good. The second half was really good. The second half of the first season. I really hope that they do have Spartan Ops in there and they do more than one season.
Yep.
A job listing for 343 was looking for someone to deliver episodic storytelling endeavors. So I'm guessing that could be pointing to Spartan Ops, and stuff like that. They're including multiplayer content, Spartan Ops, alongside new game modes and the campaign. I think Halo 5 is going to be pretty awesome.
I think it is.
All this info, it leaves us wondering, when's it coming out? So there's been a lot of indications that Halo 5 could happen this year. As far back as last fall, we saw the 2014 release clues. There was a pre-order page on the Microsoft Store. The Halo PR guy, Rob Simpson, tweeted that your next Halo journey will begin in 2014, and that Halo 5 release was also featured on the Xbox cover of Xbox Magazine. And then just like a week ago, Walmart had put up a pre-order page for Halo 5 saying that it's shipping this year, October 1st. So, a lot of clues are pointing to this year, but then a lot of clues have been pointing to Halo 2 Anniversary for this year.
Yeah.
So, really hard to say. I'm guessing we're going to get all the answers at E3.
The closer it gets to the holiday season, we'll see more and more.
Yeah. And then Master Chief himself actually sat down recently and kind of talked about where he thinks Halo 5 might take us. He said, by the time it got to Halo 4, Master Chief was struggling with his own mortality and was certainly struggling with his own emotional mortality. As things happened in Halo 4 and Cortana began to unravel, that was the only real emotional connection he had ever had his entire adult life. Not to mention that his working relationships and things like that. So, which more more and more leads me to believe that Cortana could be making a return, or at least could be a big focus of the storyline in Halo 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking forward to finding out more about it, and like I said, E3, I'm sure we'll be hearing more. Sunset Overdrive. This is, again, we got a short teaser trailer on it, E3 last year. This is from Insomniac, who traditionally was a PlayStation-only developer. They were the creators of Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, you know, a really beloved game, especially by PlayStation fans. Now they're making, you know, they've gone over, they're making Xbox exclusive Sunset Overdrive. So just by the trailer, you could tell that it's, you know, classic Insomniac, zany-looking weapons.
Yeah, it's like parkour meets first-person or third-person shooter, you know?
Yeah, it was almost like Titanfall meets Borderlands.
Yeah.
In a way, but without like without the Titans.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Like the dude had a shotgun, but the clip was like a fucking energy drink soda can.
Something like that. It was like orange shooting everywhere. And
stuff. Yeah. So it's definitely gonna be pretty crazy. It's an open world shooter. The game focuses on agile combat, including wall running, zip lines, acrobatics. There is a single-player campaign for one player only, but there's also a multiplayer game mode version of it as well. We know 3 weapons from the trailer: a crazy-looking baseball bat, that shotgun that we just talked about, and also that gun that fires the LP discs.
Oh yeah,
right.
Which was pretty cool. The developer's Twitter account said that there's going to be lots of rewards, plenty of weapons, power-ups, customizations, etc. They haven't locked down the pixel count yet. They're still optimizing and can't share the final resolution yet. The target is 1080p, however, nothing's confirmed, and there hasn't been any word on the frame rate, but I imagine that frame rate would take precedent over resolution.
Yeah, something that fast pace,
Yeah, so they're probably going to want to go for that 60 frames per second first, and then
worry about the
resolution second. As far as the humor, it's being, you know, the developers are comparing it to Ratchet and Clank, Spyro, that type of humor.
Yeah.
Game is also expected to use Microsoft's cloud computing technology, where user feedback and ideas such as internet memes, social commentary, new items, weapons, characters can be quickly added on the fly. Even while you're playing, the items could show up in the game. The game's persistent online world will be altered on the fly without obliging players to sign out. Instances of this might include outbreaks of certain enemy types and changes of the weather to more intense things like new weapons and things like that. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Our quote from the CEO of Insomniac, Ted Price: "Our intent is not just to offer new weapons, but new gameplay features that change up the environment. We want players to talk about what happens in the game, get really engaged and connected, because they never know what's going to happen, but they have an influence."
Sounds good.
Now, I use basically all the apps that we mentioned at the earlier podcast, and I got an update from Appy Gamer yesterday.
Right.
And it was saying that with this game, Sunset Overdrive, the campaign will be single player only.
That's what we just said.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was actually looking for the story, which that kind of disappointed me. That kind of disappointed me because I was also looking for playing with my, Fat Tab brothers, like we did with games like Borderlands and stuff like that.
You weren't listening to what we said, Dev. The campaign is going to be single player only, but there's also going to be a multiplayer version.
Mode.
Yeah. Yeah, so, there's going to be, like missions, and it's going to be open world multiplayer stuff, but there's also going to be that, single player campaign for those who want that. Because, there's a lot of people out there, surprisingly, who don't like multiplayer. They just want to play that single player adventure by themselves. J-Ray's one of those people.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to stuff like this...
J-Ray claims to like multiplayer, but he only ever plays single-player games, so we know where his loyalties lie.
Well, I think a lot of people still have that bad taste in their mouth where it's like a multiplayer game and they have the campaign through it. The story's kind of lackluster. Or, it might not... It's just not presented well. As it would be like a campaign with cutscenes and more in-depth storytelling. So, it's good that they have both now, though. As long as they can even...
Which was kind of the big problem with Titanfall's campaign.
Yeah.
Was, it was fun to play because it was multiplayer, but you didn't really get involved,
I
deep,
still
connected
couldn't
into the
tell
story.
you the main plot line of the story, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
So, you know,
There was a story in that.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I'm sure you know developers will get better at integrating the two.
Yeah, it's a new thing.
Over time, but you know it's still kind of in its infancy. So I think you know, Insomniac thinks you know, and I agree. Take that safer approach, have that single player campaign for those who want it, and then you know also have the multiplayer.
Right.
And then speaking of Titanfall, that new Expedition DLC coming out, which will be bringing 3 new maps to Xbox One and 360 in May. Well, definitely Xbox One in May, 360 there shortly after once Blue Point Games gets it ready. So the 3 new maps: War Games, Runoff, and Swamplands. A little information on War Games. War Games is a virtual world where pilots complete in a simulated environment, and it essentially takes Angel City, Rise, and the airbase Sierra and like puts them together and creates this like almost Tron-looking parkour playground.
Yeah, like wireframe looks.
The concept of the simulator allowed for themed areas to act as hard points while the buildings are in smooth, featureless style of training rooms. The IMC start in an airbase style structure complete with working Marvins and a tank repair garage. Some of the areas throughout the map will be glitching out, which is when you'll see that Tron type of stuff, where the areas that are glitching out, providing landmarks that remind you that you're fighting in a virtual simulator. The middle tower is based off of Rise, with small interior rooms connected by a very tight, high wall run path through the center. Titans can capture this hard point, but they will need to enter a very narrow hallway with pilots at every single angle and nowhere to run if an enemy Titan decides to attack. This is also a shortcut to the center of the map, but bears a high risk factor as being rodeoed could be easy for pilots to do in that area.
Yeah.
The militia side of the map is based on Angel City, but it's like nighttime there now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
The multiple spaced out buildings offer different gameplay styles than the other side of the singular large structures found elsewhere. Rooftop and window-to-window fighting is the crux of combat here, with the hard point being at the bottom floor of a 2-story shop that only pilots and AI can access. On the outskirts of the level, paintball-style fields are designed clutter-free to make enemies easy to spot, and more for like Titan Pass. That's like a good Titan area. Titan spawn points push players into these areas, allowing stuff such as Titan flanking and traveling through the center of the map. So it's just gonna be really cool. That map in particular, and then Swamplands also looked really cool.
Yeah.
Like almost the whole map is covered in swamp, so you're almost like walking through swamp and murky stuff like a lot of the time. And there's still like some structures in there too. It just looked really cool. Runoff, I don't know a lot about, but I've got high hopes for it. I'm sure that they're putting a lot of work into this, and I hope all 3 maps turn out to be really good.
Now, what wasn't they saying that you'll be able to run off of like trees and stuff like that? Being they said like in Swamplands there's going to be like more trees, so you'll be able to tree run.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they take the spots of like buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
It's definitely going to be interesting. And then so the new Gears of War, baby.
Yeah, this is
nice shit.
Will use bleeding edge rendering techniques for best in class visuals, and we'll have co-op and multiplayer. And of course, Gears of War has been known for one of very few games that has co-op campaign.
Yeah.
Yep.
We started the whole.
It's also one of the very few games that did it well.
Yeah.
Yes,
That kind of started that whole bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they always were leading in visuals. Like when
yeah.
I first saw the first Gears of War, it made me like, wow.
Yeah.
I need a 360.
And then, Gears of War 2 wasn't that big of a jump, but Gears 3,
that was a huge difference.
to this day, is one of the best looking games on 360.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's really, really, really well done. So, Microsoft Studio, Black Tusk have major ambitions for the new Gears of War, obviously. A spate of recently posted job listings reveal some information about the game. This was found by DualShockers. One post is looking for a senior rendering engineer who will make use of bleeding-edge rendering technology techniques to deliver best-in-class visuals for a AAA Gears of War game. The job also mentions major new features. They're also looking for an art director who should be comfortable working with a broad spectrum of styles from photorealistic to highly stylized. They haven't said yet what the art style of Gears of War will be, but anything's on the table right now. I'm imagining it won't stray too far from past Gears of Wars.
I would think so, no.
Other job ad mentions innovative features and suggesting that the new Gears will definitely be carrying forward the franchise's well-known co-op campaign mode, as we just stated. Multiplayer will be a huge focus for the new Gears of War. One lead multiplayer level designer position calls for individual to work on industry-leading multiplayer experience. First person should have familiarity with traditional Gears of War gameplay and past multiplayer map designs, which hopefully means that they're taking it back to the traditional symmetrical Gears of War map style, not like those in Judgment.
Yeah.
Right. And Black Tusk, if you're listening, when you do the multiplayer, please, the way with Gears 3, we was able to use both the Locust and the Cobb. Please have that in there. Please bring back that Horde 2.0.
Yeah.
You know, as fun as...
Now it needs to be 3.0, but yeah.
3.0, yeah. As fun as... What was the one in Judgment?
Overrun, yeah.
Overrun
was great, but it wasn't Horde.
Yeah.
Yo, Horde 2.0 brought, like, those days together for friends.
Yeah.
Like, 5 of you on the map just trying to survive wave after wave after wave.
Especially for players, you know, who aren't into that competitive against real people type thing. I mean, truly, you know, Steve-O, who used to be on the show, he was one who was never really big on that, but he did enjoy getting down for some co-op type of stuff every now and then. So, and then there's a lot of other players out there who are like that. So, you know, you definitely, I think, you know, and I'd like to see Overrun make a return also. Like I said, it was a great mode.
They should just have
probably the best thing to come out of Judgment was Overrun.
Really,
I mean, other than the campaign was well done. Yeah. But multiplayer-wise, Overrun was the only good thing to come out of multiplayer in Judgment. So I would like to see that return, but I'd also like to see the traditional Horde be there as well. Yeah. And then so a lot of people might have heard about these Xbox Originals.
Yeah.
That are going to be making their way to Xbox One and 360 as well. They've unveiled, invited a bunch of journalists down recently to show off some of the teaser trailers for the first wave of shows that will be coming out. So, of course, the Halo television TV series, groundbreaking based on the award-winning Halo franchises. Award-winning filmmaker, director, and producer Steven Spielberg will executive produce the live-action series created in partnership with 343 Industries and Amblin Television. Every Street United is an unscripted... It is the next show. It's an unscripted series of 8 30-minute episodes and a 1-hour finale featuring legendary soccer players Theo Henry and Edgar Davids, focused on the global search for soccer's most gifted and undiscovered street soccer players. And then, like, pretty much, like, the show's gonna be all about them, these like street soccer players who are really good, and then they're gonna eventually going to get them all together at like the World Cup or something. So
it's like a reality show.
Yeah, I'm sure J-Ray will be all over it.
I was about to say, he'll keep us updated on that.
Yeah. And then Bonaire, which is like some sort of music festival. It's going to be a show revolving around that. Signal to Noise, Atari Game Over. This is the documentary about the excavation of that landfill in Mexico, searching for the lost ET cartridges, but it's not just about that. It's going to be about the whole downfall of Atari and the gaming industry as a whole back in that time
period. Yeah, which is going to be really interesting. Yeah, a lot of people have no idea what went on, or they talk about video game crash, and I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah,
they have no idea what that's all about.
Yeah, a lot of these young kids that I speak to, and they was talking about this whole ET thing. I was like, they don't know what that is. They didn't even know what ET is. Yeah. And I was like, I remembered playing that game like at 6, 7 years old. I was like, what the hell do I got to do?
I know. You just make his neck go up and down, and there's like a dude like in a trench coat chasing you for no reason.
Like, why am I in this hole? How the hell do I get out? Oh man,
it's a bad game.
Yes, it really was.
All right, so the next show is Humans, a bold new drama co-produced by UK broadcaster Channel 4. An hour-long, 8-episode series which will premiere on Xbox platforms and Channel 4 in the UK. Executive produced by Jane Featherstone, Life on Mars, Broadchurch, and Derek Wax. The Hour, Sex Traffic, blah, 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 blah. It's an English language adaptation of the television and Matador Films' acclaimed Swedish series Real Humans, set in a parallel present where the latest must-have gadget for any busy family is a highly developed robotic servant eerily similar to its live counterpart in hopes of transforming the way they live.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be pretty crazy.
That is going to be kind of cool.
And then also a Halo digital feature. 343 Industries, Scott-Free, creating a Halo digital feature. The project will be executive produced by Ridley Scott and Scott-Free TV president David Zucker.
Oh, that should be good. Ridley Scott's a really good sci-fi.
Yep, yeah. And then if y'all want to go over the last shows, I need to go do something real quick.
Alright, then you have Deadlands. Xbox Entertainment Studios has committed to a script based on a successful pen and paper role-playing game created by Shane Lacey Hensley. Deadlands is a genre-bending alternative history of the Wild West filled with undead gunfighters, card-slinging sorcerers, mad scientists, secret societies, and fearsome abominations. That sounds like it'd be pretty good.
Sounds like Diablo.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah, so that's Deadlands.
We have Extraordinary Believers.
Mm-hmm.
It's being developed and innovated. Microsoft Entertainment Studios.
Executive produced by Seth Green.
Okay, sounds good already.
Yeah, that should be good.
And also the creators of Enemy Award-winning Robot Chicken.
Oh, yeah.
So that could actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, that could be.
It's an innovative hybrid stop-motion show.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
All right.
Next one is Fearless, an unscripted series currently in pilot starring Paul DeGaulle. Oh, I heard about this one. All right, so this guy, he was like the Australian version of a Navy SEAL.
Okay.
Like, completely badass dude, right?
Yeah.
But he got, like, his leg blown off and, like, one of his arms messed up.
Oh, okay.
But, like, that hasn't held him back.
He's still doing his job.
He got a new leg, got his arm fixed, and he's like still doing crazy stuff.
Damn.
And so this show is all about him exploring the most dangerous jobs in the world, and each episode will be him exploring a new dangerous job. Okay. But not only that, he's going to perform that dangerous job.
Okay.
Like the one episode that was going to center around those. Paratrooping firemen who like parachute down into like burning forests.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then like it actually shows this Australian Marine dude with his mechanical leg parachuting down into a burning forest.
Wow.
Okay.
I think that show's gonna be pretty awesome.
That's gonna be pretty good. Yeah.
Next one is Gun Machine. Xbox Entertainment Studios acquired the rights to Gun Machine, a hard-boiled detective thriller based on the New York Times best-selling novel by Warren Ellis. Ellis will executive produce with Brett Conrad, who has signed on to write the pilot script about a detective tracking a serial killer who is tied to a mysterious collection of guns used in the infamous New York murders. And who doesn't love a good murder mystery?
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what they're going to tap into with that.
And then the untitled Jash comedy variety half. This is going to be like some comedy stuff. Sarah Silverman will host the pilot episode, and Daniel Kilson. So he's going to be executive producing. Each week, a different comedian will create a show featuring new and unsung talent in various video formats. So, but they're also going to have some of the biggest names in comedy on there as well. So.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah. That sounds like it could be good. And then last is Winter World. Xbox Entertainment Studios and IDW Entertainment co-developing a limited event live action series based on Chuck Dixon and artist George Zaffino's seminal graphic novel series Winter World, in which our world has been encased in ice from pole to pole. The surviving humans have formed tribes that war, enslave, and trade with one another in an effort to survive the infinite winter.
That sounds really good, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're really going all out.
Yeah, it's not some...
with these Xbox originals.
Wimpy shows that you're going to be like, I don't really want to see. Almost all of these, I really just want to check out and see how good they are. I mean, they seem like they really could be just on cable.
Yeah, I mean, like, with the exception of the soccer one, I'm going to check them all out.
Yeah, for real. That could just be like ESPN 2.
Yeah. And J-Ray will be checking that one out, so we'll be able to cover them all.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, so on to the quick news bits. Dragon Age Inquisition release date confirmed for October 7th. Another thing
You
Jerry's
just
gonna be
wet
excited
January's
about.
panties.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude loves some Dragon Age. Assassin's Creed Unity will feature a 4-player co-op. And we actually have an article on right now on fragtagradio.com about Assassin's Creed Unity and the other new Assassin's Creed Comet, which is actually written by one of our newest writer, chick named Laurie McGinnis.
Yeah, McGinnis.
And so, yeah, she's going to be doing some articles for us on the site. Possibly may even guest on a podcast in the future. Yeah. But definitely go on there and check out her first article. It's all about the rumors and the information that we know so far about Assassin's Creed Unity and Comet. Let's see. Microsoft plans to enable Xbox One game preloads. PlayStation 4 is already doing this. PC is already doing this, where you can pre-order a game before it comes out and actually download that game before it comes out, but you can't play it. But it's on your hard drive, ready to go. So as soon as midnight hits, you're playing.
Ready to go.
You don't got to worry about downloading everything. It's all ready to go.
Wow.
Skype group video calls now free on Xbox One, Windows, PC, and Mac, which is good for us.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be doing, we're switching over to video. For those who don't know, matter of fact, tomorrow we're going to be up there working on the video studio. We hope to have that bad boy done in about 3 weeks tops.
Yeah.
And we'll be coming to y'all with our first video episode in our new studio.
Should be it,
yeah. So
you can see our ugly mugs.
Yeah, and then so this new group video calling thing is great because we'll be able to have Def and other guests hopefully possibly on all at once without having to...
So Def would be on the TV then behind us.
Yeah.
I would be on the TV, baby.
Uh-oh. Get some foundation.
Just make sure you have your clothes on like you normally don't do, all right? No one wants to see you naked.
I mean, hey, we'll let the subscribers.
Xbox One launching in China this September. Which
that's big news, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's
they just took down
over 1 billion people in China.
Yeah.
And I was listening to podcasts, Unlock IGN's podcast, and they were saying, like, what if they sold Xbox One to just 1% of China's population? That's 10 million people.
Yeah, that's true.
So, say they sell Xbox One to just 1% of China's population.
Which I'm sure they will.
That's 10 million people.
Yeah.
So, and currently neither PS4, Sony with PS4 or Nintendo with Wii U have plans to release their consoles there. At least they haven't announced anything yet. So
Nintendo needs to.
Yeah. Wait. The Wii U is still not in China and it's been out almost 2 years?
Well, China just lifted their ban on consoles. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So they're like new to everything. Yeah.
And Microsoft has actually sponsored with Best TV, which is like the largest cable provider over in China. Okay. To bring exclusive Chinese content to the Xbox One over there. So, it's going to be pretty cool. I definitely think they have a chance there, but I also think it's going to be a hard market to crack.
I'm also curious if there's going to be any Chinese developers coming out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I think they actually have a better chance there than in Japan.
I almost want to say China might even be the new Japan if we talk about video games in its heyday.
Because
they fully start getting the ball rolling.
Xbox hasn't never been done well traditionally over in Japan.
Never.
But they could have an advantage in China because Chinese traditionally aren't that happy with Japanese.
No.
And vice versa. And with both Nintendo and Sony being Japanese companies...
That's true, yeah. They might be more susceptible to Microsoft.
That alone could give Xbox a slight advantage over there. Just because, they're not a Japanese company.
Well, we'll find out September 4th.
Yep. And then speaking of Japan, Xbox One will also be launching there on September 4th, as you just mentioned. So, and then also Microsoft recently just registered XboxAB.com domains. This is obviously pointing towards the Xbox augmented reality stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing we might see some Xbox VR unveiled at E3 as well. Okay. Everybody's getting into it with the Oculus Rift, and then Sony with Project Morpheus. So, it's not surprising. Fan-made ultimate Xbox One UI video gets Microsoft's attention. Matter of fact, Major Nelson saw this and was like, wow, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm going to share it around the office. I don't know if y'all have seen this video, but this dude actually took the Xbox One dashboard and did this crazy demonstration video and it looks like it's actually running on an Xbox One, but he actually made the whole thing in Adobe Flash.
Oh, okay.
But it shows him going through the Xbox One dashboard, and he like sets a custom background, and the background's up behind the tiles. Okay. And then he goes and he changes the tiles to transparent, and you can see through the tiles, you know, nice. Seeing the background.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And then like he goes and like sets like a custom music, and you can hear like a little bit like a music playing lowly in the background while he's browsing through the dashboard with the transparent tiles in the background. And then like he sets like a custom Minecraft background, and you can see like the Minecraft menu screen floating in the background behind the tiles with the Minecraft music playing over top of it.
Yeah.
It was just really cool, really well done video. If you haven't seen it, just go to YouTube and just search for Xbox One Ultimate UI, and it'll come right up. Check it out. Really well done video. Also, Microsoft Files Scream Ride trademark. This is going to be some kind of game. Not sure what. Yeah. Could be like a roller coaster tycoon.
Something like that.
Type of AR, or who knows, you know. And then good news for Minecraft players on 360. Minecraft Xbox 360 saves will carry over to Xbox One. This is confirmed by Phil Spencer. Nice. So I know Solomon's happy about that one.
Sure just made my son happy too.
Yeah. Because I know he spent the last couple years creating lots of worlds.
Yes.
It'd be a shame not to be able to carry those over.
Yeah.
All right, and then Mass Effect 4, quote-unquote, somewhere in the middle of development, according to BioWare. If you ask me, I think that points to a holiday 2015 release next year or early 2016.
Just over
likely.
February,
because if you think about it, the other Mass Effects always came out in like February, March.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's probably what's going to be like February, March 2016.
They probably should.
Okay.
I want them to, so they take their time and make it really good and utilize these new systems.
Yeah. Definitely. Hopefully they get the ending right this time.
Yeah.
We all know about the Mass Effect 3 ending controversy.
Yeah.
Other news, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare coming to Windows PC next month, June 24th. They also just added microtransactions to all versions.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But in their defense, they also, along with that, upped the amount of coins that you earn by playing the game.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, people have been playing the game without microtransactions, earning this amount of coins. But now they've upped that amount of coins, so you're actually earning more coins to buy packs now than you were before.
Okay.
So the microtransactions are just kind of there. You know, if you want.
If you feel like you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not patient enough.
Speaking of microtransactions, what would you guys think if like Titanfall putting the microtransactions for their cards, their burn cards?
Oh.
Would you think that would be good?
I don't think.
I wouldn't buy them.
No.
You know why? Because they only last for one life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why am I going to pay? Would buy them?
Why would anybody pay money for a card that's only going to last one life?
People would.
When there's a potential that you could spawn and die and lose it right away.
Yeah, that's
now,
true.
If burn cards lasted for one whole game, then I could see people buying them.
Yeah.
Now, isn't it the same thing with these cards on
Garden Warfare?
Zombies?
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. In Plants vs. Zombies, you're buying items to unlock characters.
Right, but I'm talking about like the ones where
the characters
you use the
are
cards
permanent
to put the plants on the board.
I mean, those are the really cheap packs. There's really no need to buy coins for that. You could play one match and have enough coins to buy like 3 or 4 packs of those.
Okay.
The expensive packs are the ones that unlock characters
and with different weapons.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, theoretically, you could buy coins and use it to buy those cheaper packs, but there'd really be no need to. Let's see. Mass Effect Trilogy listed for Xbox One. Found on a couple of online retailers. So my guess says this is going to be happening. They're going to re-release Mass Effect as a trilogy on the next-gen consoles, probably with a little bit crisper visuals, probably a higher frame rate, things of that nature. It'll probably include all the DLC from all the games.
Oh, I'm sure.
And honestly, I'll probably buy it.
I probably would too.
I definitely would buy it because I was one of those who actually skipped over the original.
Oh.
I know it's blasphemy. I know, but this will give me that chance to actually go and play it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd buy it and play through it all again because Mass Effect is just, probably one of my favorite franchises.
It's really good.
Up there with Alan Wake.
Yeah.
There we go.
And Gears of War. So,
What we got?
ZeniMax files Nuka-Cola trademarks, reignites Fallout 4 speculation. If we don't hear something about this at E3, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
It's time for a Fallout 4.
For real.
It's time. Even if it's not coming out this year, they can at least announce it.
Show us something.
Show me a logo.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, anything.
Yeah.
At this point, I'd settle for a logo.
Sell for like a gas mask on a set of rocks or something.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd settle for a whisper from a developer.
Yeah.
Anything. Square Enix just registered the Just Cause 3 domain.
Okay.
Possible unveil coming to E3? Possibly. And the developer of Dark Souls, From Software, just got bought out by Japanese publisher Kadokawa. Not sure if this bodes well for the future of Dark Souls.
Yeah, I was thinking of that myself.
You know? And I know friends of ours like Schmitty would be kind of upset by that type of news.
Because I know he's looking forward to another one.
Sure he is.
After he finished the first two, put himself through hell and back.
I'd never want to look at another Dark Souls game again if I put myself through what he went through.
It's dedication.
It's beyond dedication. So it's something else. Superhuman. Working with Microsoft and Below has been a best case scenario, according to Capybara, the developers of the new Below timed exclusive Zelda type of game coming to Xbox One.
Yeah.
You know, that's good news. And you know, I'm a big Zelda fan. You know, if I was to buy a Wii U tomorrow, it would be on the promise of a new Zelda game.
Yeah, which we're still waiting to hear.
Yeah. Which, hey, might hear something about that at E3. You know?
Hopefully, they need to.
Yeah.
Get some Mario Kart.
New Metroid, maybe? New Star Fox, maybe?
Well, you're jumping ahead now. That's like 3 or 4 years down the line. Or another console will come out.
Yeah. Defiance. You know that. Defiance going free to play.
It's a little late.
Yeah. Well, I think they're trying to kind of breathe some new life into the game.
Yeah.
I think releasing it as a free-to-play game on the game store, like on 360 and Xbox One, I think it would get a lot of downloads.
It would, because it's not. I mean, it's a deep game. Yeah. You remember playing through it, but
there's plenty there, and according to Treon Worlds, there's going to be no tricks or traps, no paywalls, no pay to win,
no bait switch.
Playing it will be just like it is now.
Yeah.
You know, you'll pay to buy coins if you want to unlock more items faster. Right. And people like us who have already bought the disc-based version of the game,
we'll get extra goodies.
Yeah, we'll be rewarded with a bunch of free credits, XP bonuses, and other goodies when the game does switch over to free to play.
Yeah, I was hoping you said get my money back.
I don't know if you get the full 60 back, but well, we got the game for $20.
$20, yeah.
We'll get our money back.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 4 hits Xbox One and PS4 in Update 4.1, available now for all developers. So Unreal Engine 4, I think that's going to be deliver some really good graphics for some really good games over this generation. Looking forward to see what comes from that. And then you were talking about this before the show, Mad Max being delayed.
I was kind of disappointed.
It's unfortunate, because the trailer we saw at E3 last year was pretty badass.
Yeah, it was. Almost
looked like reminded me of Rage.
Yeah, in a way it did. I think that was mostly the desert scene and all that.
Yeah.
But it had the Mad Max with his car, blasting V8s and all that.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's going to be awesome. And then, big news!
Uh-oh,
WWE Network app now available on Xbox One, so you can get your WWE on.
For those who don't have the WWE app and you are a wrestling fan, I highly recommend getting into this app because it's $10 a month with the minimum of 6 months that you have to be behind. So every month they hit you for $10. If you want to watch a pay-per-view, one pay-per-view can run you $50, $60. So after you watch 2 pay-per-views, the app paid for it itself.
Yeah.
If you're like a big wrestling, even if you watch it just to see your favorite wrestlers or whatever the case may be, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Now, do they have like old events too, or is it just all current?
It's all current.
Okay.
They have their little programming. They have how they have the Undertaker's DVD or John Cena's DVD.
Yeah.
That's you're able to watch that, and you can watch older pay-per-views.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
WrestleMania was like $60, $70, and if you have the app, it just paid for itself right there.
Yeah.
And you can watch the pay-per-views live when they happen.
Oh.
Yep, as they are on your phone, tablet, PlayStation,
Wow.
Xbox, whatever you have. That's the app is on. You can watch it.
Awesome. All right. Has Microsoft revived Lionhead's Eden Falls project for Xbox One?
Maybe.
Recent trademark signs point to yes. Microsoft has filed a trademark for Eden Falls in the U.S. with reference to entertainment services, namely providing an online computer/console game. Reporters have quickly linked the trademark to a mobile game in development at Brimstone Interactive, cue mass disappointment. But some slightly more exciting news is that Eden Falls is also the name of a supposedly canceled project at Lionhead, a discussed former game on Ollie Perkis on his LinkedIn page. The same Lionhead that's now working on the new Fable game. Eden Falls began life as Dimitri, a project that went through several iterations over several years before finally giving up the ghost in 2006, shortly after Microsoft's acquisition of the studio. According to a fascinating Polygon report, it was to be an interactive drama comparable to classic adventure games originally set in 1950s America, but later moved to the 1980s. Eden Falls would have cast the player as a high school student and feature such choices as whether to take revenge on a bully or spiking his breakfast.
Interesting. Spike this dude's breakfast. It's like a mature bully.
Yeah. Crazy Lionhead later experimented with time travel in a post-apocalyptic scenario, among other things. Dimitri was this ongoing thing that no one knew what the hell it was supposed to be. They were always trying to come up with various ideas to try and convince the rest of the team to focus on something. So, maybe they finally, locked something down, decided what to focus on there. I think Lionhead deserves to make a game other than Fable.
Yeah, that's true, because that's the only thing I think of.
Yeah, when you think about
Lionhead,
it.
yeah.
Well, other than Black and White.
Oh yeah, Black and White. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But yeah, so they've made a lot of Fables, and that was kind of why Bungie eventually asked for their independence, because they knew that they stayed with Microsoft. It was going to be Halo after Halo after Halo after Halo,
or Marathon.
And I imagine with any developer, after you make the same game over and over for a while, it's got,
yeah. It's like we're capable of more than this.
And even if you aren't tired of it, you just run out of ideas for that franchise.
Yeah.
You need to start on something fresh.
Sometimes
work
it's
on
good.
something fresh for a while, and then come back to that later.
That's why I'm hoping with Gears they put it down for a little bit.
Well, that's the whole thing. Why with Gears being done at Black Tusk now, it's all new studio.
Yeah, so it's all fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, people. Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they've got Rod Ferguson at the helm, who is the original him and Clippy B were the guys who were essentially Gears was their baby, and then when it moved over to People Can Fly, neither of those guys were involved. And I think that's why that game tanked.
Yeah.
Because without Rod Ferguson or Clippy B overlooking it to make sure everything was right, those developers just
kind of went with it. And
almost damn near tossed Gears down the shitter.
Yeah, really.
So, anyway.
We'll overlook that.
Xbox One Japanese developers have been revealed. Let me take a second to go down the list.
There's a lot of good developers, though. I mean, this Arc System Works, which is BlazBlue.
One of my favorite fighting games.
Yeah. I mean, there's SNK Playmore. I'm glad to see that they're still around. So I want to see more Fatal Fury, Samurai Showdown, something new though. Yep. I don't want Fatal Fury Special 2015. Like, let's get something different.
I did love Fatal Fury back in the day.
Yeah, or maybe they should have like a new Art of Fighting.
Yeah,
that was one of their older games that maybe had like 2 iterations of it, and then it dropped.
Right.
But there's so much they could do, or like a new Metal Slug would be nice.
Right.
I mean, there's so many. Capcom, of course. D3, 2K Games, Sega.
Katakawa Games, which is that publisher that just bought Dark Souls that we were just talking about.
Yeah. Of course, there's
Atlas. They've done lots of good RPGs.
They have, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be good.
Codemasters.
Oh, yeah, Codemasters. Well, they got, Bandai Namco Games.
Tecmo.
Oh, yeah.
Konami.
Level 5.
Square Enix, of course. Sega, of course. Tango Gameworks. Take-Two, of course.
Oh, that Nippon Itch Software.
Bandai Namco.
Yeah. 2K Games, of course.
Marvelous AQL. Ukes.
Yeah, Ukes. Genki.
Oh, and Landho. That's the guys who did Crimson Dragon.
Oh, are they? Okay, nice.
Okay.
So, yeah, so there's a lot.
And yeah, we didn't even name all of them. That was just sort of a rundown of some of the
those are like the major,
But yeah, so looking forward to seeing what kind of, hopefully with developers like that behind them, maybe they have a chance of making a crack at Japan this time.
I think that's what they're shooting for.
Yeah.
They need to this time.
Because if they're going to try Japan again, they've got to go all out.
Yeah, they do.
They have to.
And they really need to hit that niche market.
Yeah, and if they don't make it this time, don't even try with the next Xbox.
Yeah, that's true. Whatever happens, then happens.
Yeah, because if they don't make it this time, anything after that, you're just wasting your money.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do.
2 times you tried, you failed. Don't pump the money. Focus on the territories.
They say third time's a charm, but I wouldn't go with that.
Not where you're dealing with millions and billions of dollars. Yeah. There's always China, though.
Yeah. All right, so Watch Dogs DLC Season Pass announced. Shocker.
Oh, didn't see that coming.
DLC will include a unique single-player story, new game mode, and some more stuff.
Yeah.
DLC planning to add new characters, missions, weapons. Season Pass will cost $20 in North America. European pricing hasn't been confirmed. I imagine it'll be the equivalent of. First up, single-player story will cast you in the role of T-Bone.
What?
Stereotypical if I ever heard it.
I know, right?
And eccentric yet talented hacker.
Name T-Bone. Come on, what's this?
Other DLC titled Conspiracy set to introduce new digital trip game mode that allows you to hunt down cyborgs in an alternate game universe.
Whoa. It's like...
Alright. Other bits of DLC include more missions, weapons, outfits, including a 1920s mobster gear garb only available to Season Pass holders. And purchasing the Season Pass will save you 25% if you had, purchased each one separate.
Yeah.
Which J-Ray likes to buy each one separately. I like to buy the Season Pass and save the 25%.
Yeah.
That's what I do too.
Because, once I play a game, I know right away whether I'm going to be interested in the DLC or not.
Yeah.
But honestly, with that Season Pass, the way, what's this game? BioShock Infinite did with their Season Pass, I was kind of disappointed in it. Because
me too. Clash in the Clouds sucked. Clash in the Clouds sucked. Episode 1 was mediocre, and Episode 2 was the only real standout of their whole DLC.
Oh.
Did you finish? Did you guys finish both Part 1 and Part 2?
No, I haven't finished.
Oh, I need some explanations. I'm confused.
Well, I'll try and play it sometime soon, and we'll get back to you.
All right.
Final Fantasy 15. We were mentioning this earlier in the show. Gameplay. This new installment of the franchise is being described as an action game.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
It's really.
What happened to Final
That's how they're describing it, an action game. What happened to RPG?
Yeah, for real.
Why don't you just change the name and just
what's happened.
Make it something new? Give it a new IP.
As soon as they came along, they changed everything.
There's a gameplay trailer out right now. We actually have it on our YouTube channel. It's actually our most popular video with over 30,000 views.
Yeah.
So
people want to look at it, so
evidently people are interested in it.
Yeah, they are.
Feel free to check it out. It almost looks like Final Fantasy meets Devil May Cry.
Yeah. I'm not too thrilled about it.
It's Final Fantasy, so I'll buy it. I don't know if I'll be happy about it.
I guess as long as because to me, Final Fantasy has always been about the story.
It has, but it's also been about the combat.
True.
Right.
And if the combat's not fun in this, or if it just seems like you've already played this, if it is like a Devil May Cry, then you're just not going to be that enthralled to play through it all the way. And
now, to their credit, I did have a game on PSP. Yes, I did on a Sony product.
Oh my gosh, not you.
Sacrilege.
I owned a PSP, and there was a game on there called Final Fantasy Crisis Core.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that like
I remember that.
prequel to Final Fantasy VII or something?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And it was actually like an action RPG.
How was it?
Where you actually would like swing the sword. But it was really good. It was actually my favorite PCP game I owned.
Okay.
Or PCP. PSP, excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we know what you was doing.
I want you to keep your personal life out of this.
Hey, Dave, I didn't know you like to get wet. What you talking about? PCP. New information has appeared on both the official sites for Xbox One and PS4 in Japan, but interestingly, each differed slightly from the rest. Battles featured in Final Fantasy XV have evolved greatly from previous games in the series. It's created as an action game, reads the PS4 blurb. Game switches seamlessly from field battle and combat simulation evolves rapidly. It goes on quickly with a sense of full realism. Also, it's possible not only to fight with hero Noctis, but also to switch with other characters. Furthermore, it's possible to perform a combination attack with a companion while enjoying the dynamic effect that it will have. Noctis can fight by making use of a variety of weapons and can move quickly within areas by attacking enemies with stylus action. Sounds like Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
You can fight monsters by except for this whole ally cooperating thing.
Yeah.
The ability to fight in collaboration with unique companions makes it an important feature of the game. Meanwhile, on the Xbox One page of the Japanese site, Final Fantasy features high action system unprecedented in the series. By taking advantage of the specs of next generation console, Xbox One characters can move freely across the whole screen. In addition to that, the party battle system is now more advanced, allowing you to enjoy party battle by switching characters more strategically.
Okay. That's not too bad.
The Xbox One site also had a touch more detail on the character Noctis, saying, as the royal heir of Lucas, I guess that's what that is. Lucius? I don't know. Who has the last crystal in the world. The main character, Noctis, and his friends will suddenly be involved in the war. Kind of interesting. I assume the crystal is part of the whole Nova Crystallis thing from Final Fantasy 13.
Okay, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that crosses over with those games.
Yeah.
And if we see any cameos from other characters.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll be. I know a lot of people hate on Final Fantasy 13 and Lightning, but I actually kind of, as a character, I liked Lightning.
Yeah.
I thought she was cool. You know, it's not often you see a chick like her. A lot of games cast chicks as the heroine, but they're usually always stereotypical, big boob, dumb
right.
chicks.
Yeah.
This chick was
Lightning was the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
You know, she was strong,
weathered,
smart,
yeah.
flat-chested, flat-butted. Soldier.
Yeah.
G.I. Jane all the way.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, man.
Flat-chested, flat-ass.
I mean, she was the exact opposite of what you come to expect.
That's true.
Especially from Japanese developers.
Yeah, for real. Because usually it's like tits galore.
They usually overdo the breasts. Like to the point where they're unrealistic.
Like, you couldn't stand up straight.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Well, good for you, Japan.
Epic Games teasing an Unreal Tournament comeback.
Oh, I know you'd get excited about that.
Yeah. Unreal Championship, as I've said many times on this show, was my favorite Xbox Live game on the original Xbox. So,
okay.
Would love to see Unreal Tournament come back. Unreal Tournament 3 on 360, it was okay.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
It wasn't great. But I'm definitely interested in the comeback and seeing a franchise like that return.
Sorry, yeah.
Epic teases high-end game that will push next-generation graphics. Could it be the Unreal comeback?
Maybe.
Unreal Tournament has always been known for its really good graphics.
Even when it first came out.
It's always been like the showcase of the new Unreal Engine every time.
That's true, yeah.
So, and since they're teasing a game that hasn't been officially announced, it's obviously not Fortnite.
Oh, no.
So I'm thinking it's either Unreal or they've got a third game in the wing.
Weird.
So, it could be either one. All right, Hell Raid announced for Xbox One. This is interesting because this game actually began life as a mod for Dead Island.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
And the developers of this mod actually got so into it, they actually expanded it, and it's like it actually came to life and got a life of its own.
Its own entity now.
Yeah, just became a game. They just kept going with it. So, and now instead of being a mod for Dead Island, it's its own game called Hell Raid. Expanded and evolved thanks to the developers' experience and player feedback. Will take advantage of Chrome Engine 6, which is also being used by the new game coming soon, Dying Light.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Game will remain faithful to its first-person co-op slasher gameplay. But they've tuned up the combat system and made it better, which is good because Dead Island, one of its weakest points was the combat system.
Yeah.
You can expect a new physics-based lighting system, more detailed locations, character models, complex animations, advanced particle effects, and state-of-the-art AI systems. All that sounds great.
Sounds just great.
Hellraid offers 3 game modes: a story mode, which you would defend the world against the forces of hell; a mission mode, which players war over leaderboard placing; and an arena mode, which players will fight off waves of demons for all eternity. Sounds like Horde.
Kind of sounds like remember that game Hellgate London for the PC?
Oh yeah,
Almost sounds something similar.
Hellgate,
to
Hellraid.
that. Well,
What can you do?
whatever.
As for the customization options, extend to the armor, clothing, and accessories. You'll be able to customize your character. There's non-class limited skill trees with 3 main development skill paths: agility, combat, and magic. Each character, you'll be able to choose your path, and each will offer different active and passive abilities. As for the combat, features 1- and 2-handed weapons, shields, magic staves, ranged weapons, diverse fighting styles, counterattacks, parrying, dashing abilities, mashing up Hellraid, defends with axe strikes, woefully crude. They're offensive, defensive, healing spells you can draw on, an environment that you can use against the enemy, slicing through chains to drop chandelier. Who knows?
Sounds like Might and Magic.
Actually sounds pretty good.
It does, yeah.
And for like a small developer that started this thing as a mod to I hope that they succeed, because I like small indie developers coming up and becoming something big.
Yeah.
Always good to see that. All right, and then we are actually ending out this week's episode with Skylanders Trap Force.
Right.
Because Skylanders is just awesome.
Yeah, it is a fun game.
It is.
Yeah, it's like the new Pokemon. You gotta get all these figures.
Me and Solomon are addicted to that game. We've collected so many Skylanders.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't collected them all, but we're down here. I mean,
we're close.
We've got a lot.
Yeah, buddy.
We have a whole dresser drawer full of those guys.
Yeah.
You gotta catch them all, baby.
I mean, we've probably got around 100. I mean,
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to this new one. All right. So the whole premise of the new one is there's going to be a new portal with it.
Yeah.
You can put your characters on the portal as you always have to have them pop up in the game.
Yeah.
But the front of the portal has this thing where you can plug in these crystals.
Okay.
Once you've defeated a boss enemy, you use the crystal to trap them, and they'll be trapped inside the crystal. And there's actually a speaker on the new portal.
Oh.
Once you've trapped a boss in there, you can hear that boss talking like talking smack to you.
Like he's trapped.
Yeah, while he's trapped.
Like a genie in the bottle or something.
Yeah. So that's actually kind of cool. And
That
then
is kinda cool.
one of the bosses you can capture is Chaos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I can imagine him trash
Yeah,
talking you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then what's cool is after you capture one of these guys in a crystal, you can plug in that crystal at any time and play as that character.
Oh, that's cool.
So
what's up.
you would essentially be able to play as Chaos eventually.
Wow. That'd be nice. See what he's got.
Yep, and it'll still be compatible with all previous Skylanders as usual.
That's one thing I'm glad they've done with all these.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All the ones they've come out with. You don't have to scrap the old ones and let me get the newest one.
Yeah.
They all just meld together.
Yeah, because and it's smart, because if they did it that way, like you just said, those figures would lose value.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time a new game came out.
Yeah.
But this way, those figures not only retain value, they actually go up in value
price,
as they become more rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go on eBay, some of those things are pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you have those retail exclusive ones.
Oh, yeah.
They only have 5 on a shelf, and those things get me you can't find them nowhere.
Well, yeah. That's when you go online.
And pay $1,000 for one.
Pretty much.
There will be more than 50 new playable characters that you can get.
Yeah.
Of course, to go along with the ones you already have. Including Trapmaster characters, new core Skylanders, and old school guys. Toys for Bob is actually developing the Xbox 360 version, while Beanox will be doing the Xbox One version. And for those who don't know, Toys for Bob is actually the developer who did the original, the first Skylanders, the very first one, Spyro's Adventure. So it's good to see them back on board. And
Beanox should do a pretty good job, though. They did a lot of the Spider-Man games for 360.
Yeah.
And those were pretty good.
And then, of course, similar to previous games, you'll be able to play cooperatively and use your characters at friends' houses with the drop-in, drop-out gameplay.
Yeah.
Because each character's level, stats, items are actually stored on the figure.
Yeah.
So you can take your characters over to a friend's portal and still have all your cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know the characters are like cross-platform. Like if you have, let's say, Spyro, you could play him on the 360 or the Wii. Does their stats go with them as well, or you have to reset it every time? Oh, that's what's up. That's cool.
And yes, the figures are also cross-platform. Like you could be playing. Me and Solomon could be playing on our Skylanders Swap Force on Xbox One, and we could go over to Matt's house, and he's got Skylanders on Wii U, and we drop our Skylanders on his Wii U portal, and they pop right up just like they did on our Xbox One.
Nice.
And so it's like we were just saying, like they've done they've been really smart about the whole Skylanders thing, how you can use the figures, how the figures stay relevant with each new game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Activision they've done a really, really good job of keeping the game relevant, keeping the old figures relevant with the whole cross-platform with the figures. It's just and on top of that, it's a fun game.
It is, and a lot of people might
it's
look
like
at it.
Diablo mixed with Pokemon for kids.
Yeah, that's the best way. Yeah, because I don't know how many times I've played it with Lucas.
It's got the Pokemon gotta catch 'em all thing going for it, but it's got the Diablo dungeon crawling, looting,
little secrets to find. Then you unlock new moves for characters that you have,
and that whole Diablo looting thing is the addictive thing that has made Diablo so prominent over all these years because people get on there and they just get addicted to the looting, getting more and more better items. What can I get next? Keep playing, keep playing.
What's behind this chest?
You take that Diablo looting mentality and mix it with the collection mentality that they've got with these figures, and I mean, it's a winning formula. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So looking forward to E3 also. Matter of fact, our next episode will probably be right before E3.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's already May.
So we'll have you one episode right before E3. It might be our first video episode. It might be our last audio episode. This might be our last audio episode. You won't know until our next episode is up.
But you want to talk about the current contest going on?
Oh yeah, we have Ubisoft was nice enough to grant us some Child of Light codes. For Xbox One and 360, we've got a contest going on the site right now. And so, I mean, we've already got like over 40 entries. Tons and tons of people signing up every day. The contest has only been up for like 3 days now. And like I said, people have just been signing up. So definitely head on over there to the website, sign up for the contest for your chance to get a free game code for Child of Light on Xbox One or 360. All you got to do is comment on the post for the contest, and when you comment, please specify which console you would like the game on, Xbox One or 360, and also note either your Twitter handle or your email address so that we could contact you with the code should you win.
Now, when does this contest close, for those who don't know?
The end of this coming week. It'll be, I think, May 10th is 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
So by the time
is the last day. So
by the time you hear this podcast, that means you got a couple of days to get on there, drop your comment, and sign up, man. It's easy as that.
Yep. This the podcast will be up tomorrow, so you'll have about a week.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
There it is. But yeah, so it's been a great episode, and we will catch y'all next time.
Frag Attack Radio.